commissions. Let's start with the commission and attendance, starting with Commissioner Caffarelli to my left.
Good morning, Brian Caffarelli, Commissioner.
Marion Guanti, Commissioner.
Kristen Linder, Commissioner.
Angelo DeFazio, Commissioner.
Richard Carberry, Commissioner.
Good morning, Debbie Chisholm, Commissioner.
Heather Hoynes, Board Administrator.
Good morning to all. Let's get started with the request for pharmacy internships and I'm going to, again, my linguistic skills with Italian is perfect, but with others not so perfect. Jezeraka China or Sina? Are you here?
I'm here. Hello, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good. So it's Yezersa and China. It's correct way to say it, but in America it's Sina.
Okay, very good. So could you raise your right hand for me? Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank
And
you.
for the record, again, could you state your name and spell your last name?
My name is Yezersa. Last name is Cina.
Very good. Thank you very much. We call
Thank you.
interns to the board just to get to know them a little better, find out where they're from, what kind of experience they have, talk about maybe their preceptor. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you come from and what your pharmacy experience is?
So I'm from Albania and I've been a pharmacist there in Albania for 13 years. Then I moved here in USA in 2016. And I work at Yale New Haven Hospital for 2 years now. And my preceptor is going to be my manager, Daniel Kilcoyne. And
It's great. Are you
that's pretty much.
Are you from Tirana?
Yes.
Good for you. Yes, yes, very nice. That part of the world is really beautiful. Beautiful beaches there in the Mediterranean.
Yes, they are. Thank you.
So just make sure, you can't go over 40 hours a week, so you can't stack all your hours in a few weeks, and keep your hours intact, because sometimes we lose our hours. It's 1,500, and
Yeah.
we know Yale very well, and we wish you all the luck in the world and good luck to you. Do the commissioners have any other questions for Ms. Sina? Well, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yep, have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Let's see if I can butcher the next name too. Lija Yusuf.
Hi, my name is Leila Yusuf.
Could you raise your right hand for me?
Sure,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
For the record, could you state your name and spell your last name?
My name is Leila Yusuf, last name Yusuf.
Thank you very much. And could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your preceptor and your situation?
I'm a pharmacist from North Macedonia. I was a pharmacist there for 3 years before I moved to United States. Currently, I'm working in Yale New Haven Hospital. I started working there 3 years ago. I just got promoted to a pharmacy technician supervisor position. So right now I'm supervising technicians and working closely with the pharmacists.
Great. And who's your preceptor?
It's Daniel Kilcoyne. He's the pharmacy manager.
Oh, very good. Any questions for, I'm not even going to try, for Miss Yusuf? Any questions? Like I said before, just keep track of your hours. Don't go over 40 hours per week. Keep track of your 1,500 hours. And we wish you a lot of luck. And thank you for coming to the Zoom meeting this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck to you. All right, let's go to new pharmacy applications. Commissioner Carberry and Commissioner Chisholm. Is Loft Chemists from Bridgeport, Connecticut here?
Hi, good morning. Yes, I am.
Good morning. Is this Anna?
Yes, hi.
Hi, Anna. How are you? Could you please raise your right hand?
Sure,
You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
And for the record, could you state your name and spell your last name?
Sure, Anna, last name Shmayanek, Shmayek.
Is there any ownership in the pharmacy for a licensed professional that can write a prescription, like a physician, a nurse practitioner, a PA?
No, it's just me and my partner. We're both pharmacists.
Is there any register, point of sale system, computer system that's going to sit outside of the demised pharmacy licensed area?
No.
Very good. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm?
Good morning, Anna.
Good morning.
Rick, are you on mute?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
So I can hear you, but Commissioner Carberry, are you on mute?
No, I'm here.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Anna, if you could just walk us through the physical location of the pharmacy, kind of take us through from the front door to the pharmacy location.
Sure. Sorry, I'm also looking at the screen. So if you walk into the pharmacy from the entrance, to the right of it is going to be shelving. On the back walls, we're going to have fridges for like beverages, and stuff like that. Also shelving right through the front, and kind of like an L shape is where the pharmacy is going to be in the back, where we're going to have two registers. One is going to be like a pharmacy register, and the other one's going to be for like over the counter stuff. And in the back is the pharmacy itself with the shelves and the counter space.
I think the first thing that comes up is you have three doors there in the middle of the drawing. I see one door enters behind the registers, and then there's two doors immediately on the right.
So one is going to be like a kitchenette, and the other one is going to be the restroom, but that's inside the pharmacy. So like the first door that you see by register 2 is going to be like the barricade to come in.
Correct. But there's no drawing of what's behind those doors. So those are internal doors going into other rooms?
They are, yeah. So the first one, sorry, yeah, that would have probably made more sense. The first one is going to be the restroom, and the second one is going to be a kitchenette.
Okay, so then the actual drawing is not correct as it's shown here. You're not showing any space. You've got the drawing showing a 30-foot 9-inch, and then you got another, can't really read it here, but it looks like 8 foot there. So you're saying behind those two doors is actually, where's the outside of the building? That's what's confusing here.
So the outside of the building is when you look at where you're looking at 30 by 9, right? How do I do this? Yep, where your mouse is. So to the left of it, that's the outside of the building.
No, I'm saying where that kitchenette and that bathroom are, where are those outside walls? You're showing doors, you're showing no rooms there. And your building is cut off.
No. So there are definitely 2 rooms there. And then the third door that you look, right here, that would be the back door entrance to like the inside of the building. So,
Okay,
our neighbor would be like the right where the name, it says Loft Chemist LLC. That'll be the next business that's there.
Yeah, I
So
understand
like a
that.
whole one.
I mean, the drawings are not correct
Right.
as you show.
Okay.
That's a
Sorry,
problem.
do you mind if I actually clarify? My name is Sherry. I'm Anna's partner. I'm also on the call.
You can,
Yeah, you can clarify.
Anna's the manager, so only the manager can present the plans, not the owner. But it sounds as though Commissioner Carberry is correct. The drawing is incomplete. It sounds as though there's 2 more rooms there that need to be included in the plan. And from what Anna explained, it sounds like the exterior walls of those 2 rooms that aren't on the plan actually sit outside, correct?
No, they don't sit outside. Actually, we're on the first floor of a building.
So they're adjacent to another neighbor?
They're inside. We're on the first floor of a building. So those doors actually lead to a back door of the building that is enclosed with metal doors. So the door leads to the lobby of the building, but that lobby is only shared by us and the retail store next door.
Right. Like there's nobody else that has access to it.
So Anna, we would still need to see that though. So,
Absolutely.
Because we need to see anything that's outside of the pharmacy. So it doesn't have to be an external wall to the building. If it's outside of what the licensed pharmacy is going to be, we need to see what that is. So if they can just draw in the bathroom, I think is what you said, and I guess somewhat of a break room.
Right.
And then I guess one of those doors goes to outside, I guess, into, it sounds like a mutual hallway.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you look
We need to see that.
Okay, so if you look at like the drawing number 29, not 29, whatever it says 29-5, you see how that goes through. Yep, exactly. You see how that goes through the outside. So that's the door to the outside neutral lobby.
So it goes to a lobby.
Not necessarily a lobby, but like a shared corridor between us and the other business.
It's
That
just on the plan, that's all.
access to, but our door is obviously locked and secured.
Yeah, so if you can have that updated so we can see it, so the inspector needs to be able to see exactly what it looks like, so they know what's on either side of the licensed pharmacy.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, do I just resubmit it to you guys or before the inspection or?
You want them to come back in September, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. I mean, this is a 5-story building with apartments above this pharmacy, correct?
Sorry, say that again.
This is a 5-story building with the pharmacy on the first level,
Right, and then the rest of it is residential.
all residential. So that's another thing. We want to look at security for this building with a pharmacy down on the first level.
So
What plans
the
do
way-
you have to secure that pharmacy,
the way
especially with
that
a
the
common
building-
hallway.
Right, it's not a shared hallway. So the shared hallway is only for the businesses for the first floor commercial area. It's not for the second, it's totally separate, the entrance from the from the residential area. Is there any way that we can resubmit the plans to you guys today, not to have to wait until the September meeting?
Why don't you go through the rest of the plans, Rick, and we'll, and maybe get a better explanation.
Okay,
And then we'll decide on that.
okay.
Yeah, what is the security plans for the pharmacy, being that you do have tenants above you? You have plans
There-
for, you got a drop ceiling? Do you have cameras up there? What kind of security system to protect any kind
We
of
have-
breakthrough?
We have cameras and we have an alarm system. We have, I think about 12 cameras. There's no, there's no entrance from above. So the only doors, that we do have to secure is the front door, which obviously it is secure, and the back door is secure as well.
So is it a drop ceiling in the pharmacy? Or is that a solid ceiling between the floor above you?
It's just ceiling be, I guess, between the floor above us. It's a solid ceiling.
You said you're not sounding too sure about that.
No, it's a solid ceiling. It's not a drop ceiling. It's just an exposed ceiling. So it's definitely a solid ceiling.
No, I still would recommend having some security up in that area.
In
so
what
someone-
sense?
So someone doesn't breach through down into the pharmacy?
Through this, one of the most
it's
common ways.
Industrial.
One of the most common ways the pharmacies are broken into is through the ceiling. And there's been issues when there's been residentials or others, and they come in through the ceiling. So we always recommend some type of alarm system that has the ceiling in mind and is specifically designed for the ceiling, whether it's, lasers or sound or whatever that goes with the ceiling. God forbid someone tries to come in through the ceiling. Rick, I'm going to make a recommendation that they come back with the drawings. There's a lot missing here. And that common hallway really needs to be, I know it's only a commercial common hallway, but in terms of security, that has to be on these plans, and who has the key to that outside door that comes into the common hallway. Is it multiple people? How that door is going to lock? And the drawing really should have the kitchenette or the break room, should have the bathroom in there, and it also should have that common hallway. So unfortunately, and I think I'm going to make the recommendation that you come back next month with the proper.
So the problem is that we had a problem last month with the meeting, or I guess in June, that we weren't notified, or there was miscommunication. So I'd really appreciate if we can do something that we don't have to come back. It's literally only us and the owner who have the keys to the lobby. And in terms of the securing the ceiling, we have cameras all over the pharmacy which have motion sensors on it. So we'll get notified if there's any sort of motion inside the store. And it's a commercial, it's a commercial space, so the ceilings are solid. I'm not sure what else we can do to secure that.
Well, you're asking commissioners to approve a plan that's not before us. That's
Okay. So, but the only thing that's not on there is the bathroom and the kitchenette, which I understand, should have been on there. which we can, redact and send it over later on today.
And the common hallway's not on there also.
Okay. I mean, I didn't realize that we had to submit, I guess the blueprint for the whole building. I don't know if I can get that.
So Anna, we would have to approve these plans during this meeting. So if you sent this in later on today, we wouldn't be together in a meeting to approve it.
Okay, what if I send it in before the meeting is over? Would that work?
Mr. Chairman, I would be okay with that. If it's updated before the end of the meeting.
It needs to be to scale, so it's got to be something that shows us exactly what's going on here. Otherwise, I'm not comfortable.
Okay.
Not just sketching it in.
All right.
I wouldn't just have don't just sketch this in pencil.
I'm gonna call the building now to see if I can get the blueprint of the hallway, and then add the kitchenette and the bathroom and get that over to you. At least we'll try to get as much information as I can today, if that's sufficient.
Okay. So what I'll do is before I call to adjourn the meeting, I'll call again, and hopefully by that time you'll have what needs
All
to
right,
be.
so I'm gonna log off for now, and I'll log back in as soon as can I email it to Heather, I guess?
Heather, are you okay with that?
Okay with that. I'll have to see if I can get into my email while I'm on the meeting.
Or if you come back on and you do have it, Anna, before I adjourn the meeting, you can just say, I'm here now. Can we review the, okay?
Okay, perfect. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm gonna log off now and I'll get back to you guys shortly.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try Medley Pharmacy, Stamford, Connecticut. Joseph Simonson.
Simonson, correct. Good morning.
Good morning. So for the record, Joseph is a first-time manager, and his name is being added to the first-time pharmacy manager list. His name's not on there. Heather did include his name, correct, Heather? Everything's in order in terms of first-time manager?
Correct.
Very good. So Joseph, could you please raise your right hand? Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Is there any ownership in the pharmacy that is licensed in the state of Connecticut to prescribe, like a physician, a nurse practitioner, or a PA?
No.
Is there any computer, point of sale system, register, or other IT device that can access private patient information that's going to sit outside the licensed pharmacy area?
No, there won't be.
Very good. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm.
Good morning. Can you give us a brief location run through the pharmacy? It's kind of very detailed. I can see most of the things we're looking for in here, but kind of walk us through from the entrance through. Obviously, the pink area is highlighted as the pharmacy space.
I'm trying to relocate right now. Give me 1 second. I found a decent spot over here. Having some connection issues earlier.
Joseph, if it's possible, can you put your camera on? Just Heather, if I'm correct, he needs to present in person, correct?
Yes.
So then you would have to have your camera on.
I thought he was a ventriloquist. Thank you.
Good
Good
morning.
morning, by the way. How are you?
You just didn't want us to know you were outside having fun.
Well, I drove all the way to Hartford this morning because I totally spaced this was a Zoom call. So trying to find a good spot to hang out.
How is our old stopping grounds? Pretty quiet, right?
Oh, it's beautiful up here.
There you go.
Okay, so let me grab my schematic out real quick. So I'm not quite sure what G2 had sent initially, and I know there've been a couple modifications, and I think they had uploaded a new document recently. But sorry about that. But as far as general rundown, you can see on the right-hand side, that's the entryway. We've got OTC shelving, the consultation area. Can jump up a little bit. With some traffic here. And then as far as, there's also a patient bathroom that's available there with a sink and all this normal toiletries. Then there's a entryway into the main pharmacy, which has got all the shelving, all the computer stations, a half wall basically that has a controlled drug safe, then a meeting room, and then in the back is where all our deliveries will be kind of packaged and distributed through the back end there. And at the very rear of the pharmacy, we have the break room and the personal, like the staff restrooms.
And this pharmacy is also located in a three-story building, correct? On the first floor?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay, I've seen the location. I just see one refrigerator. Looks like it's in the back. Do you have a drug refrigerator somewhere in the pharmacy?
Yeah, let's see if I can flip this over here. So right at the very front, right behind the patient bathroom, I've circled it there. That's where the prescription refrigerator is. That's where we're going to be storing everything. And next to that refrigerator is also the ice pack storage as well. The one that you might be seeing is behind the half wall. That is where the deliveries are going to be stored for, like, if there's any refrigerated deliveries that have to occur, that's where they're going to be prepped and like stored for takeoff, basically.
Yeah, you really want to mark those on the drawing because they're not marked at all from what I can see.
I can get you a new copy by like in an hour. I just have to talk to my architect and have him put the schematics in if you'd like.
Yeah, it's just going to be helpful for the agent when they walk through the building.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Joe, label one a food refrigerator and the other one for RX refrigerator. You know, because they can't mix the two. In case somebody brings lunch, you can't put it into the RX.
Oh yeah. In the back, there's also and I think it's in the break room. There should be. Yeah, there's a new refrigerator in the back room as well for food. So that's where the food will be stored, as well as the microwave and all those things.
You'll want to label it as such.
Yep, and we'll label it. Yep, absolutely.
I have a question. That one room that looks like an office, looks like it has a table and chairs. So that's not highlighted in pink. Is that not part of the pharmacy, the licensed pharmacy area?
I think they've considered that not part of the, let me see here. That would be the white. I said is the, which is the license as the pharmacy premises versus. Yeah, so that is not considered the prescription department, but that would be considered just the pharmacy premises. So that would just be for like calls and things like that nature.
I missed that. I'm sorry. What are you going to do in that space?
I'm sorry? Oh, conference calls with leadership meetings and things of that nature.
So no immunizations, you won't have any sharps containers or anything like that in that room?
Nope, that should just be a nice conference room to meet in. There'll be no storage or anything like that.
Okay, perfect.
Well, just one other thing, Devin, and thank you for bringing that up because you sparked it. It looks like your consult room is not part of your prescription department. Is that correct?
As far as they've got that mapped out, I believe that's how they've designed it.
Okay,
we can make modifications.
Just so you know, Joe, the agents, upon inspections, you can't keep anything in there, any drugs, any sharps, sharp containers. You know, if you're going to do a consult or you're going to do immunizations, you can wheel it in there and do it, but everything's got to go back into the prescription department. You can't have a computer in there that can access patient information. You can bring a laptop in there when there's a patient. That's fine because that area can be accessed by patients. So if it's going to sit outside the prescription department, it has to be treated kind of like your conference room. Okay.
Right. Exactly.
Thank you, Deb.
Yeah, that'll be just exactly that. Yeah, there'll be. We got plenty of storage space in the back with the delivery area. So yeah, I'll keep all the supplies back there for immunizations and those.
Okay. Any other questions, commissioners?
I have none. No.
I don't have any more questions.
All right, Joe. You are our first ever, I believe, Zoom in the streets of Hartford in front of our building. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
And let's move on to pharmacy remodel, CVS Pharmacy 2210 1239 East Putnam Avenue. Do we have a CVS representative in the house?
Hi, this is Loveline. Can you guys hear and see me?
We can. Nice locker room.
Okay, thank you. I'm in a store. I'm in a store at the moment. I just wanted to check.
Hi, Loveline. Thank you very much. I don't have to swear you in because it's a remodel. Commissioner Carberry, Commissioner Chisholm.
Heather, can you just bring this up, zoom this up a little bit? If possible. I mean, this is a pretty, from what I can see here, this is basically just removal of a script pro, correct?
Correct.
That's ultimately all you're doing here.
That's all we're doing. Yep.
Yeah, so it's pretty basic. It's in the diagram shows all the various things that are being added, shelving and things like that. So really, this is not a problem at all.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. One SP100 going in the trash.
Is it a 100 or a 200?
This one is this one's a 100.
What's the matter? Not busy enough, Loveline?
I know. I don't want to give it up. Trust me.
Seems pretty simple. Any questions, Commissioner Chisholm?
No.
Okay, Loveline. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, let's. I'll take a vote on Medley and on CVS Pharmacy 22.
Mr. Chairman, just a quick point.
Yeah.
Don't call me anal, but look down at the bottom of the drawings.
Yes.
The address on the plan. It says Kings Mountain, North Carolina.
Oh, that's no good. It's got the correct address though.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Do you want me to have them corrected and resend it back? I didn't even notice that.
Well, Loveline, is this design here in Connecticut? You're positive it's the Connecticut design?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I'll have Heather cross that off and put in Riverside, Connecticut for you.
Thank you.
Okay, that's interesting. There's
Well,
probably
I can't cross it off because I don't have the physical plan.
That's right. She has to. Could you do it for me and put in the correct city and state and submit it to Heather?
Well,
we're not smooth today on these things, guys. They're not smooth. See what happens when you take a month off. Anyways, all right. If we can, if Loveline, if you could scratch that off, put in the correct city and state and submit it to Heather, I'll allow that.
Okay, thank you. I'll do that now.
Now we can get to a vote. We're going to table Loft Chemist for the end of the meeting. Hopefully they'll have the proper drawing by that time. Commissioner, what's your pleasure on Medley Pharmacy?
Motion to approve as presented.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Pharmacy remodel, CVS Pharmacy 2210. What is your pleasure?
Motion to approve, providing the correct address is on the form.
Do I hear a second?
No. Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Very good. All right, let's move on to legal matters. Is our Esquire Michael Lando in the house?
Good morning, commissioners. How are you all?
Good morning, Esquire. How are you today?
Good morning.
I'm well.
Good. And what do you have for us today, sir?
So we have one item on the agenda today, which has been around for a little while in sort of every possible sense. It's a respondent who has had a lot of history with the Drug Control Division and the Commission of Pharmacy. We have a settlement agreement here today, which in essence says that this person will never apply again for a pharmacist license or other pharmacy licensing or any licensing related to controlled substances. So this individual is a former Connecticut pharmacist, currently inactive, who engaged in violations of state and federal law and regulations relating to drug diversion, drug abuse and excessive use, false, misleading, or deceptive representations, fraudulent or deceitful practices, and failure to report required information to the Drug Control Division. This individual has a history of cases with the Drug Control Division going back a number of years, and they almost all involve violations of diversion and or drug use or abuse. I will go over the history very briefly because there have been a number of other cases that have, some of which have come before the commission. And I do think the background is somewhat relevant. But as far as this specific case, this case commenced following a report to the Drug Control Division of suspected product tampering. This was in a pharmaceutical wholesaler type of arrangement. After an investigation, it was found that vials of hydromorphone and morphine injectables had been tampered with. At this point, the Drug Enforcement Agency at the federal level, as well as local police, became involved. Ultimately, during the course of investigation, the respondents voluntarily surrendered their pharmacist licensing pending results of the investigation. Following this investigation, the case was ultimately advanced to the United States Attorney's Office for federal criminal prosecution. The respondent ultimately entered into a plea deal, a plea of guilty to 1 count of tampering with consumer products. This plea deal also included other restrictions, but ultimately the sentence winded up being 51 months in prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. Some of the conditions included things like drug testing, drug use restrictions, treatment programs, and very noteworthy for our purposes today, it also involved a promise not to reinstate or apply for any new pharmacist license or for employment with a pharmacy or any position in which he's exposed to drugs or medications. Currently, this respondent is in the custody of the Federal Bureau of Prisons and incarcerated at a federal correctional institution. The only reason that I would like to go very briefly over the history, sort of the procedural case history in terms of relationship with drug control and the Commission of Pharmacy is because we have been in a similar position. There have been in the past plea deals made with criminal charges that involved a promise not to reapply. There have been in the past agreements with the Commission of Pharmacy that involved a promise not to reapply. I would just like to lay those out a little bit so that we're all very clear that the intent of this agreement is that this individual will never again apply for pharmacy or pharmacist licensing, that they will not be coming to DCP again seeking any kind of reinstatement or new application for any licensing that may involve controlled substances. So this sort of stream of related cases appears to have begun in 2003, when the first settlement agreement was entered into with the Commission of Pharmacy involving drug diversion. In 2004, a few months later in 2003, there was a new agreement following an indefinite suspension. This reactivated the license and placed 5 years of probationary conditions on the licensing. In 2004, there was then a voluntary surrender of the license for a case involving diversion and failure to meet the standards set forth in the earlier agreement. In 2004, there was then an agreement to suspend. Subsequently, in 2005, there was an agreement that allowed for reapplication with a 5-year probationary set of conditions. In 2007, there was a new settlement agreement involving suspension of the license. There was, again, an arrest. In 2008, there was a guilty plea. At this point, there's another promise to never reapply for a pharmacist license. This agreement was essentially echoed in another later 2008 agreement with the Commission of Pharmacy, which echoed the terms of the plea deal, saying no more applications for a pharmacist license or a drug wholesaler license. In 2011, this individual submitted a new application. This application was denied on the basis that there was already an agreement with a promise to never reapply. In 2013, after some back and forth, apparently this provision was waived, and the Commission of Pharmacy then allows a reactivation of that application. Ultimately, the Commission of Pharmacy denies the application. In 2014, there's a hearing. In that hearing, the licensing is reinstated with 5 years of probationary conditions. In 2019, this investigation begins. It has been less than 5 years. It's not certain. I don't have a finding of fact on exactly when the diversion was suspected to have begun, but the investigation itself was within that 5-year period, so it would have been a violation of the agreement. This investigation, as I laid out earlier, did ultimately result in federal criminal charges. All of those things worked through their processes. And again, at this point, this individual has had a voluntarily surrendered license for, roughly 2 years now. And all of the other processes have been wrapped up. And this is a slightly more specific and slightly broader promise that would be, or agreement that would be encompassed here, because it involves any pharmacist, pharmacy technician, any licensing related to the practice of pharmacy or controlled substances in Connecticut. So it's not as restricted to pharmacist or drug wholesaler license. At the same time, as I mentioned, the main reason that I want to emphasize what exactly we are all looking at here and what was contemplated with this agreement is because we have had a plea agreement that included promise not to reapply. We've had prior agreements with the commission that included promises not to reapply. Now we have a federal plea agreement that includes a provision that he may not reapply. I think I would just like to make it clear that that is the intent here, that he should not reapply. There should not be, hopefully, the kind of uncertainty that would leave the door open to another finding if at some point in the future he decides to attempt to reapply again. And so I would ask that the commission, approve this agreement with that, hopefully that understanding in mind, and we move on from this, hopefully closing this series of cases forever.
Thank you, Attorney. Thank you very much, Attorney. I just also want to make it clear that all commissioners can vote on this, whether there was a step down in the past. All commissioners are eligible to vote for the resolution. Do any of the commissioners have any questions for Attorney Ando?
I have a question, Chairman. Yeah, Attorney Ando, with all of this history and current state, and then, this new proposal, I'm guessing this individual's name gets submitted to the Medicare exclusion list. I mean, so this goes beyond the state of Connecticut, is that correct?
Yes, although to be completely honest with you, I would have to actually look at whether that name had been submitted. I don't know that personally right now.
Because
I know, oh, pardon me.
Yeah, no, the reason I ask is that, so we do this thing in Connecticut, and then, there's a whole bunch of border states and things like that. And, I just feel that we would be responsible in, maybe passing this problem off to somebody else. And so I think a lot of times most employers, most of the ones that I collaborate with or have worked for, they always check that Medicare exclusion list. So I don't want us to, although taking care of Connecticut, of course, but I don't want to be part of passing on a problem to another state. Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is one thing depending on the context of the licensing with or registration with DCP, these are reported. If there's a sister agency that is relevant to the licensing, it will be reported to the sister agency. Otherwise, the National Practitioner Database will typically be the main report that we're doing. Or if we're aware of other states that have licensing, we may report to them directly as well. And I don't know, I could look again to see if there was any reference in the federal transcripts of the criminal proceedings, because there may have been a reference in there that I didn't catch in my notes.
Okay.
But I could look again to be sure that that's
Yeah,
being transmitted.
that was my only concern. Thank you for that summary and excellent history.
Absolutely.
Any other questions from the commissioners? Hearing none, I will make a motion to accept the proposed resolution as presented by Attorney Ando. Do I hear a second?
I'll
Second.
second that.
All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Thank you, Attorney Ando. Do you have any statistics for what may be coming up? Anything that may be coming up, sir?
Sure. So right now we have about 8 to 9, well, I'll say 7 to 9. I'm not sure where we are on signatures on a couple of those. So about 7 to 9 first-time errors in process. Not a dramatic number or a surprising number. We have probably 2 or 3 second-time errors, and the second-time errors are depending on what is happening, are more likely to fall into obviously a stepped up sort of formal discipline, but also likely to involve other issues more commonly than just the standard first-time errors. We're still seeing an influx of prescription monitoring program cases that are coming in from doctors. And the only reason I even mention this is because in the one of the prior meetings, the last couple of meetings, I had mentioned a case where a doctor had their prescription pad stolen and fraudulent prescriptions were going out, and there were a number of pharmacists who ultimately were unknowingly filling prescriptions that were fraudulent. And so I mentioned the influx of PMP cases because we have doctors who may not be examining the patient medical records adequately. You can end up with some pharmacists who get in a rather sticky position of having to tell a patient something they really don't want to hear potentially, and making a decision about whether or not to prescribe if something looks wrong, and they may or may not be able to get in touch with the physician and double check on that. So I mention it mainly as a thing for pharmacists to look out for because I'd rather they not be in that position, but it does happen. And then as far as other things, I'm not sure that I have other trend type things about what might be coming through right now. We have sort of a decent spread of subject areas that are sort of giving us problems right now. So I wouldn't say that there's necessarily one area or another that's especially bad. There are some things probably coming up that are coming in groups and just didn't get the group through, but those should probably be coming up in upcoming meetings.
Very good. Always, if a step down commissioner is needed, we have, how many do we have now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 very able-bodied people that would be more than willing to step down. So appreciate that.
Thank you very much.
Anything else, Esquire?
No, sir.
Okay, any other questions for Attorney Ando? Very good. Enjoy your day, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Thanks. All right. Now moving on to our favorite part of the entertainment evening here. Let's see, we have first-time pharmacy managers. So what I'll do at first time, I've noticed that some of the first-time managers may be on only by phone. Obviously, I will allow it this time, but the reason why we want to see you on camera is because that's what we would do if it was a live meeting. We want to make sure it's you and you're representing yourself as a first-time manager. You don't have a stand-in, and I can't do that, or none of the commissioners can do that if you're just on the telephone. So what I'll do is I'll call off first-time managers, and again, I'll apologize for my linguistic skills, but I'll call them off and just let me know if you're here. Okay. Well, we'll first start with Joseph Simonson, who was added to the list. Joe, in the house?
Yep, I'm here.
Very good. Kelly Fairher?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good. Hossam Hassan? Hossam Hassan, Walgreens Simsbury? Okay, I'll skip that one. Annalise Tenney? Annalise Tenney, CVS Pharmacy Hamden. Noel Yankouli. Noel? Can you guys hear me? Or is a lot of absentees today?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. Noel Bianculli? Heather, of the three that I just called, do you see their name?
I'm looking on the attendance side. The problem is on the attendance side, there's also a bunch of phone numbers and there's no way for me to know who those people are.
And then
So.
and they'll have to appear next month if I can't get through to them. Okay, let's move on to Alfonso Ramirez. Alfonso Ramirez, Orange, Connecticut. Ratna, wait, was that Alfonso? Was that Alfonso? Ratna Edwards.
Hello, I'm here.
Very good. Thank you. Woo! Yeah. Asia Paul. Richfield, right? Asia Paul. No. Bino Abraham.
Yes, sir, I'm here.
Thank you, Bino. Right now, I feel like it's the Jets win-loss record. A lot of losses right now. Jennifer Wilhelm, CVS Pharmacy Meriden. Jennifer?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me okay?
How are you? Good. Leanna Harvey?
Hi, I'm here.
Very good. Kayla Carlson?
Yes, I'm here.
Very good. Thank you, Kayla. Kristen Lohman?
I'm here.
Thank you, Kristen. Michelle Newton?
Hi, I'm here.
Very good, Michelle. Mariana Todosiev?
Good morning. I'm here. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Jessica Savrdo?
I'm here.
Thank you, Jess. Thanks. Tara Kowalski?
I'm here. I'm here.
Samantha Copeland? Samantha Bristol? Stop and Shop Bristol? Going once, going twice, sold. Tyler Powers?
I'm here.
Very good, Tyler, thank you. Alexander D-Raps or D-Raps? Alexander? Alexander? All right, I'm gonna try the ones that, I'm gonna try them just one more time. Please be patient with me. Hossam Hassan, are you here? Mark that as an absent. Heather, please.
Yeah.
Annalise Tenney, are you here? Mark that.
She's on the phone, I know. She just can't, when we talk, you can't hear us. I had to go into the Zoom app.
Right.
That's
So
star
if
six.
they're on the attendance side, there's no way for me to be able to
This is
allow them.
Annalise. Can you hear me? This is Annalise.
Hi, Annalise. Very good. So you're marked.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. Thank you, Annalise. Noel Bianculli. I see
That's
Noel.
me, I'm here.
Thank you, Noel. Good. All righty. That's two no's that are gone. Let's do one more here. Two more. Three more. Alfonso Ramirez.
Yes, can you hear me?
I can. Very good. Okay. Woo. Alfonso's here.
Star six. When you call through the phone, I believe it mutes you automatically. If you hit star six, it unmutes you.
Oh, thank you for that information, Alfonso.
I'm not sure if everyone's having the same problem. I just logged on again, and it says it in the beginning, star six.
Oh, you know what? Hossam Hassan, hit star six. Are you here? No. Okay. Thank you for that information, Alfonso.
Not a problem.
Ask for a raise. Asia Paul, are you here? Asia Paul, star six. Asia? Nope. Mark that one absent also, please, Heather. Samantha Copeland, star six. You can mark that one absent also. And Alexander D-Raps. Okay, you can mark that one absent. All right, all right. You probably wonder why we call you here, and we're one of the few boards of pharmacy in the country that still have first-time managers appear. And we do it because of the responsibility that that role has. There's a reason why we have a designated pharmacy manager position in the prescription department and in the pharmacy versus a staff pharmacist per se, because it is a position of responsibility. And one of the first things I did when I became the chairman of the board is I moved this activity to closer to the end of the meeting, because I wanted the cases that come before the board to be heard by these first-time managers, to see what types of things that hopefully will never happen to you. You heard a terrible case before us, just before this. You know, we'll talk about diversion later on in my little presentation here, but one of the things I really want to stress is that as the pharmacy manager, you're responsible. If you're working for a big box, a big chain, a grocery store, you're responsible for your prescription department, because the rest of the store is not licensed as a pharmacy. But if you're working for an independent, or maybe there's an old license to some of these chains, so older chains where the whole pharmacy is licensed, the whole building's licensed as the pharmacy, well, you're also responsible for that whole front end and the whole pharmacy in that case. I can't possibly go over all your responsibilities and what a manager does. So I'm going to advise you to look at 2 websites. The first one is a phenomenal job on Connecticut.gov, cd.gov. And you can go to the Commission of Pharmacy within cd.gov. And it's only 13 pages long. And there's a great 13-page first-time manager PDF there. And it's really informative. It's easy reading. And even when I look at it every meeting, I learn something new. So it's really important to take a look at that. And another one that's a little more in depth, and I like this one because many of our drug control agents were involved in this presentation. It's the Yukon School of Pharmacy has it as a CE. It does cost some money, but it's well worth it. And that one is under pharmacy.yukon.edu. And the name of the presentation is Pharmacist Manager Training, a Constant State of Readiness. And that's what a pharmacy manager does. They're in a constant state of readiness, not only for public safety purposes, because that's the most important thing for a pharmacist is public safety and delivering positive outcomes to our community, right? That's really important. But as a pharmacist manager, you have to be always ready for your employees, who you oversee, et cetera. So let's start with just some of the basics and some of the things that we see at drug control that have caused issues in the past. One is, how many hours, minimum hours per week, does a pharmacist manager have to work? Anyone know the answer? Don't make me start picking. The answer is 35 hours. A pharmacist manager work a minimum of 35 hours a week. Someone mute is on. Could you please do that? Could you please make sure your mute is on, please? Okay, thank you. So minimum 35 hours a week. And that's also important if you go on vacation. If you go on vacation for more than 16 days, correct me if I'm wrong, please, Heather, because sometimes I don't remember all the numbers, but if you go on vacation for more than 16 days, you really need to report that to drug control and let them know you're going to be out for more than 16 days. And I think
consecutive days.
Consecutive 16 days.
Even if they're not working days.
Right. Let's say you get a 4-week vacation and you decide to go to Italy. Well, you have to report that to drug control, that you're going to be out of your role for a consecutive 30 days. It's very important. Pharmacy technician ratios, we see that a lot. We're up to 4-to-1 now during the pandemic under the governor's an emergency mandate. We can have 4-to-1. We're not sure how much longer that's going to take place, but with the Delta variant, perhaps increasing in numbers after school opens, we're probably going to keep that on for a little while longer. But typically it's 2-to-1 unless one is nationally certified, then it's 3-to-1. But during the pandemic, we're allowing 4-to-1 ratios. Licenses. It's your responsibility to make sure everyone in your pharmacy is licensed, that your technicians are licensed properly, that your pharmacists are licensed properly. I tell this story where there was a particular store that left it up to the pharmacist to license themselves. And sure enough, there was an audit done. There was a prescription audit done. There was a misfill actually. And when they found out that the pharmacist never renewed their license, but no one at that particular pharmacy checked on whether or not the pharmacist had a legitimate license or not. And subsequently, all the prescriptions that pharmacist filled back to the day his license expired, his or her license expired, all that was recouped back by the insurance companies because they filled prescriptions and they weren't a licensed pharmacist. So it's up to you to know if your pharmacists are licensed properly, your technicians are licensed properly, and even more importantly, if you leave your position as a pharmacist manager, you need to let DCP know you did that, because you may be on record at a pharmacy that you no longer are manager at. And if something goes wrong there and an agent comes in and finds something wrong, you may be the pharmacist manager of record. And obviously you don't want that to happen. So if you do leave employment, don't leave it to your employer to notify the Department of Consumer Protection. You should notify the department that you are no longer the manager there. Errors, something we really don't want to talk about, but when it comes to errors, make sure you have a good quality assurance policy in place. Make sure that you handle errors up front, transparently. Don't sweep it under the rug, because I can assure you, a year after the fact, they're going to come in and want to know what happened with that error, and you're not going to remember. So make sure you document everything properly. You have a good quality assurance program and policies in place. Make sure you go over them with your staff pharmacist as well as your technicians. Diversion, something we really don't want to talk about, but as the pharmacist manager, you're responsible for all the scheduled drugs, all the drugs in the whole department, as well as the employees that work in your department, right? So let's make sure that you're very vigilant on the Schedule 2s, on the inventories, on the perpetual inventories that are taking place. Make sure you're vigilant and understand what drugs are being diverted out there, so you keep a special eye on those because they change. For instance, I'm not sure how many of you know that Phenergan with codeine, I don't know how commonly prescribed it is anymore, but it used to be commonly prescribed, is a very highly diverted drug. Non-scheduled drugs are highly diverted. Soma is a highly diverted drug. Before it became a scheduled drug, tramadol was a highly diverted drug. So know what drugs are being diverted, keep an eye on those. Understand your ordering process. It could be as simple as the person that orders on CSauce is not the same person that checks it in, just to keep an eye on that so that medication doesn't find its way out of the store. So be vigilant on that. Have really good record keeping. One of the issues sometimes when there is a problem with a pharmacy is that record keeping is sloppy, and you don't want a drug control agent to calculate that record keeping. For instance, robotics, counting machines, sometimes they miscount. Sometimes they overcount. And if they overcount, your inventory is going to be off. So make sure that all your robotics, if you have a pill counting machine, a Kirby Lester, Script Pro, the Baxter's version of it, and the Parata machines, whatever you may have in your storing technology, make sure it's calibrated correctly so it doesn't throw the inventory off. I can't think of anything else I'm sure I'm leaving some stuff out, but that's why your homework is to go to those two websites that I recommended. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Nguante to talk a little bit about the MedWatch program. Commissioner Nguante.
Thank you, Chairman. So as you can see, the whole spirit of this is to make sure you understand the great responsibility you're assuming with this new role as pharmacy manager. Additionally, we just want you to be successful. So we want you to have all the tools that make your job easier. The MedWatch program from the FDA is a great source of push information. You can sign up and you get the emails pushed to you that tell you about any kind of, new precautions, alerts. It looks to me, looking at the agenda, that you all work for pretty large organizations. So I'm sure they have a methodology to keep you up to date on this kind of information. But again, part of your responsibility is that for lifelong learning. And this is just another tool in your toolbox to help you stay current and be that excellent source of information and cultivate that trust in the patients you serve. So really, that's just it for me. If you have any questions, though, I'm happy to answer them at this time.
Yeah, if you have any questions at all, you can contact any of the commissioners on the board at any time you'd like. I also want to talk about workplace environment, because it has become an issue over the past few years, and I'd be remiss not to talk about that. we get a lot of letters sometimes, and we get comments. Is there anything you can do? I'm overworked. I can't keep up. The company's making me do things that I think maybe this, maybe that. Well, we're not part of employment law. We're not an employer, but we are there for public safety. If your workplace environment is putting you in a position that you believe public safety is at risk, you need to speak up. You need to let your supervisor know. That if you're working for an independent, the owner of the store know. If you're working for a publicly traded company, your supervisor, your regional manager, wherever you're working, if you think that certain procedures or policies that your employer is allowing you to do, and you believe that it is hurting public safety, or you can't keep up, or that I just can't work in this environment, you have to let them know that. And you have to come up with solutions for that. Because if it comes to us, we're not going to get involved in employer law. We just really can't. And it's up to you to say something if that's that. And I'll leave you with this, is that I want you to understand that state regulations and state laws and board laws are always going to be looked upon more than company policy. If your company policy asks you to do something that is contraindicated in one of our regulations, well, guess what? Our regulation is going to trump that. So it's really important for you to speak up if you think that the processes in place are jeopardizing your ability to practice your beautiful profession efficiently and to give the best possible outcome to your patients. Okay? Is there any other questions by any of the other commissioners? Hearing none, go and save the world, guys. Thank you. Have a good day. All right. Now where are we going, Heather? What do we got next? Request for non-resident pharmacy approval. Again, Commissioner Inguante, what do you have?
Thank you, Chairman. I'm just going to read it off of my big screen. I'm on Zoom on my little screen, but I need the help here with the bigger font. So as you all know, we did not meet last month, and typically in August we get really a large volume of requests. This time it wasn't really that bad, and you have my report in front of you, I believe. And out of all of them, I believe there were 15. Really, there's only 4 that I'm going to recommend we deny at this time. One, Outwood Pharmacy from Rhode Island, they really did not complete the questionnaire, so I don't know what type of services they'd like to provide to the residents of Connecticut. And additionally, they did not have a toll-free number, so we require that as part of this service. The second is the Infusion Quorum Services out of New Jersey. Their last 797 inspection was in June of 2018, and I had Heather check with Dan Carpenter, and really what we do in Connecticut, we hold people to every 2 to 3 years. My concern with that inspection was some of their prior 797 inspections had issues. So again, I think it's fair to request for a current inspection there. The next is the Mount Sinai Specialty Pharmacy in New York. They are noting physician ownership. This is Mount Sinai Hospital, so I think we just need a little bit of clarification. It's probably some board members, but based on the way they completed the application, I am requesting the affidavit saying that those physician owners will not prescribe for the residents of Connecticut. And the final one that I'm denying is the Valor Compounding Pharmacy. Their license expired in July. They are applying for both sterile and non-sterile, but they submitted an additional letter saying they will not provide sterile compounding to Connecticut. And so Heather makes sure that the application has that caveat as well. And that concludes my report.
Any questions for Commissioner Inguante? Hearing none, I will take a motion to accept the non-resident pharmacy recommendations. I will make a motion to accept. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. Commissioner Guante and Heather, thank you very much. I know how much time goes into this report. It's not easy. Appreciate that very, very much. Let's see here. Let's go now. Let's try Loft Chemists. Did Loft Chemist make it back? Heather, were they able to get you something?
I'm here, Heather. Just give me one more second. I'm literally emailing you the updated plans right now, but I'm here.
Okay.
Do you want to do the minutes?
I was going to do that at the end, but we might as well. Having time now, I'm sure everyone read the minutes from a couple of months ago. If there's any omissions or errors, speak up now or forever hold your peace. Hearing none, I'll accept the motion to accept the June minutes.
Move to accept.
I will second that. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you very much.
Mr. Chairman, I did have a question for Commissioner Nguanti about Valor. Just curious. So I thought you said they applied for sterile and non-sterile, but they wrote that they're not gonna
Yeah, they
sterile.
Yeah, an additional letter, actually twice within the documentation, that they have no intentions of providing infusion services. And so when Heather generates the permit, she notes that they're for compounding, non-sterile only.
Commissioner Chisholm, the problem is the questionnaire states what type of services does the pharmacy do?
Provide in general.
So,
Got
correct.
it.
And so they are
Got
a
it.
non-sterile and sterile compounding pharmacy. So they don't want to lie and say, we don't do that. So they check that they do it, but then they told us that they won't be doing it for Connecticut. So they do it in their
Makes
home
sense.
state, but they won't be doing it for us.
Got it. Okay. Perfect.
Yeah,
Thank you for that.
This collaboration between all the information that we gather during these meetings, Heather feeds it back with Rod and the team. And there's been so many enhancements to what it used to be way back when. So I think this will be on the next list to kind of change up that verbiage.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thank you with that. Heather, any luck with the
Yeah,
email?
I just got it. Hold on one second.
Heather, I'm so sorry. It's the very last one.
Well, I have the PDF. That's the only one that I can pull up.
Right. I'm saying I sent you 2 emails, so it's the last email that I sent at 11:06.
I don't know. I only have one email. Hopefully it's this one.
I can resend it.
Well, just wait and see if it's this one. Give me a second to pull it up.
Yep. Yep, it's that one. And there should be also a picture attachment for the other one.
I can't show the picture attachment. I can only show the PDF.
Okay, give me one second. Let me see if I can just convert it to the PDF. Jay, I don't know if you're on with me, but can you see if you can send it as a PDF?
sent. I just forwarded to Heather as well.
I don't have it. I don't know if it's because I'm already presenting, but I don't have another email.
Can I share my screen?
No. I mean, you can try. I don't know if it'll let.
Can you
I don't
please
know if
check
it'll let you.
now? I just forwarded it again.
Again, I'm not getting another email. Nothing has popped. This is the only one that I've received.
Okay, I'm trying to.
I'm sorry. I think it's because we're using our data to like log into the meeting that our stuff is not functioning. So I'm doing it on the computer for you.
Okay.
This is the last one I received.
Just this, there's nothing else.
Right. This is the last one I've received.
Okay, well, maybe there should be an email coming through, but anyway, so this shows, I guess, more of the outside and the inside of the building, as well as it has the two drawings that we talked about earlier with the kitchenette and the bathroom. So during the renovation that we were doing, we just, instead of having two bathrooms, we just converted one into a kitchenette and kept the other one as a bathroom.
Anna, which one is going to be the bathroom that you're keeping?
Okay, so the bathroom is the one that says the first one is the bathroom, and then the second one, the one that says accessible bathroom, is going to be the kitchenette.
So that larger bathroom is now a kitchenette.
Yeah.
Commissioner Carbrick, Commissioner Chisholm, I'm going to leave it up to you. This is also mislabeled. That doesn't say kitchenette. And
This is actually not the drawing. This was the blueprint for the store when we rented out the space. So this is just to show you guys the corridor that you wanted to see, but we also had it added to our plans. And I literally forwarded that same email 4 times over to Heather. I'm not sure why it's not going through.
Right.
If you don't mind, Heather, just check in one more time for me. I keep sending it and it's saying on my end that it was sent. And I'm sending it to the same email address we always do. So I don't know why it wouldn't. I'm so sorry. I don't know what's going on, but it definitely sent it over. We just wanted to show you the corridor that you guys were saying you wanted to see where that space leads to.
Okay, so I have an email that has a picture, but I need the
I sent it as a
blueprint.
PDF over to you. It's actually, it literally says .pdf in the attachments. I don't know how it's coming over as a picture.
I don't have that.
Is there any way you can let us share the screen? I will literally.
It's not. I'm on here. It's not.
Okay. Can I send it some other way? I don't know what else to do. It has to be enabled on their end, Donna. Can we just verify the address, the email address that I'm sending this to, just in case for some reason this is not going to the correct place?
I mean, I've received all the other ones. So the heather.hoynes.
Yeah, it literally says sent.
Heather, I responded to the email chain that we've been talking to.
Yeah,
with
I
just the
received
PDF.
it.
And
You
don't have
responded
the-
with the drawing?
Yeah, I responded with the new PDF.
Can I ask a question?
You
Sure.
may, yes, Commissioner.
What's on the screen now? What are we looking at?
So the
This is
screen
the
is the
blueprint
original,
for the
is the
empty
original
space.
blueprint from the building. This was just to show, where the outside is and where the back door leads to. So the only thing that we really changed on here, is, the bathroom with the kitchenette that is now mislabeled, obviously, because that was changed. But if you compare this to the original blueprint that we sent, the rest of it is correct.
Am I incorrect? Am I incorrect that the entry is different on this one? The doors are at a 45-degree angle, and the other one, they're at 90 degrees.
That's correct. Yeah.
That's totally different. That whole entryway is different on this drawing. See it?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was looking for.
So again, I'm just concerned about different drawings here. I mean,
Heather, have you received it yet?
Let me double check.
So I'm going to adjourn the meeting if you haven't received it.
Is it this one?
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. Okay, why don't we finish up real quickly on this one, Rick and Debbie. So now that we have that drawing, and I think we have a pretty good explanation of how that hallway works. Maybe you can describe key holders and who those other two doors access, and go through the rest of your prescription department, please.
Sure. So the key holders, you mean to the back door?
Yes, please.
Sure. To the back door would be, us, the owners, and we're both pharmacists, and just us. And I apologize for this whole fiasco. We should have checked. The architect made a mistake. So anyway, in the back, it's so you see the counter, and that's where the pharmacist is going to be standing. Where the safe is, kind of. Then in the back of it is the shelving, and then there are counters all over the back, along with the sink and then the refrigerator for medications. So the refrigerator for the medication is going to be right next to the sink.
How about the food refrigerator?
That's going to be in the kitchenette, nothing in the pharmacy.
Okay. If you could label that and send it to Heather.
Will do, absolutely.
Rick and Deb.
Yeah, I just have one question. Anna, can you just confirm again? Maybe I missed it. Who are the key holders to get into the back door?
Me and my partner would be both of us. We're both pharmacists.
That's it. No one else has a key.
No.
Okay.
So that hallway is only yours. Where do those other two doors open up to?
Which other two doors?
The ones above the kitchenette.
Oh, there's one door. And then sorry, Heather, if you can look at the other picture, that would make more sense. The other businesses don't have the key to our door. They have the key to the main door, which is like here on the, sorry, I keep on using my mouth. Now, all the way on the left in the corner, where like the building would be, they would have the keys. The administrator's office has the key to it, but they wouldn't have the service, like where it's labeled service entry exit. Nobody has the keys but us.
Okay, see where the cursor is sitting right now?
Yep. So that key
to that door,
right, which is like the main corridor, only the administrator's office has the keys. Because the other businesses enter from the other side. It's like a corner lot, if that makes sense. It's a corner building. So we are.
How are the drugs going to be delivered to the pharmacy?
Through the front door.
Through the front door.
Yes,
So the back door to the pharmacy department that opens to this common corridor with multiple key holders to that outside door is going to be locked and secured at all time, just
Yes.
being an exit.
yeah,
Okay, maybe that should be listed that way also on the plan. So when
Okay.
you food refrigerator, list it that way.
Will do.
Commissioner Hardwick, Commissioner Chisholm, do you see any other deficiencies in the plan?
No, as long as that's done, that door's designated as secure and locked and I'm okay.
absolutely. Well, okay.
I'm satisfied as well.
Okay, any other questions by the commissioners? Hearing none, I'll accept a motion to accept the plans once the updated plans with the correct nomenclature of a food refrigerator and an emergency only, always locked door to the back of the pharmacy is accepted by Heather. Do I have a motion to accept?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? So moved. Very good. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Now, I'll accept the motion for adjournment.
Move to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Well, there's
Second.
a lot of people that spoke up then. I will second it. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Abstentions? Thank you. You guys be safe. Don't let the Delta, be safe, guys. Get that booster. Let's go.
Right. Get your shot.
All right, guys.
Good to
Aye.
see everyone.
Thank you.
You're on.
Bye.
I'm sorry.